Tragedy out of Texas involving a metro Atlanta family. This right here, this head-on crash on the way to holiday celebrations claimed the lives of 5 family members and left another critically injured. Atlanta News First Carly Barnett joins us now here in the studio. And Carly, just heartbroken over this. You were able to make contact with a family friend.
Blair, I was, and he was understandably distraught to hear this news. It's terrible news tonight. An Alpharetta family, visiting family in Texas, was hit by a driver who went on the wrong side of the road to pass in a no passing area. That's according to investigators, tragically killing those family members, which included 2 children.
Several members of an Alpharetta family were killed and one is critically injured after a car crash in Johnson County, Texas. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, the crash happened Tuesday around 4 in the afternoon.
A Honda Odyssey was traveling north on US 67 when a white pickup truck traveling south traveled into their lane of traffic and hit them head on.
Investigators say the white pickup truck, driven by a 17-year-old from Texas, tried to pass in a no-passing zone, hitting the Honda Odyssey, which had 7 people inside. 6 were killed. Their names are on your screen. A surviving passenger, 43-year-old Lokesh Patabutala of Alpharetta, is in the hospital in critical condition. Atlanta News First spoke with someone who identified himself as a friend. He said the victims included Lokesh's wife, Navina, and the couple's 9- and 10-year-old children. The other couple, his mother and father-in-law.
Especially when they involve children, our first responders really care for our community, and it does affect us deeply when something like this happens.
According to the publication The Hindustan Times, the family is related to a lawmaker in India. Ponnada Venkata Satish Kumar told the paper, quote, "My uncle and his family lived in Atlanta. They were returning home after taking part in Christmas celebrations at the house of other relatives in Texas when the accident took place."
Now, it's still unclear at this hour the relationship of one of the victims, 28-year-old Rushil Bari, had to the family. The driver of the pickup truck who allegedly caused the crash and their passenger, also 17 years old, are in critical condition tonight. Sean?
Carly, our condolences out to their families. And more